Yo, what's up everyone? It's Goose, and today I forgot to buy olive oil. Today we're gonna go over some bugs I've been running into on my Neural Quad Cortex. There are 3 bugs in this unit that I've been running into that have been a little bit troublesome for me. They've been kind of disrupting my workflow a ton. I just wanted to surface what these bugs were, and maybe other people were running into them as well. And I do like this unit, so I hope we get fixes for this soon. Before we move on, if you like talking about guitar gear and other nerdy stuff like that, consider hitting like and subscribe. Alright, so for some context, I did buy this second hand. I bought it for about 70% of the price, the listing price, even after they discounted it late last year. And because Neural doesn't cover warranties, like second-hand warranties, I'm hoping I'm not short on luck, but I still think it's worth covering these because I've bought a lot of modelers used, actually. My GT1000, my HX Top XL, and a lot of my tube guitar gear too. A lot of that was bought used. And I'm running into the most issues with this thing, actually. And so before we get into the bugs, the one thing I do want to say is this is updated to the latest CorOS 2.3. And as of that update, some of these issues have not been fixed yet. Also, I'm noting here, some of these bugs involve the guitar tone, and I'm not going to be editing any of the audio post-processing at all. I generally don't do that anyway. Except for adding like a limiter to make sure nothing peaks. Just putting that out there. None of the audio is edited in this video. You can have my word on that. And so with that out of the way, let's get into the bugs. All right, so I have 2 cameras running right now, one on the Quad Cortex, and I'm going to plug in the Quad Cortex, the power on the Quad Cortex here. And once that's plugged in, you'll hear the noise going to my interface. So that's direct, and you're going to be hearing directly what I'm hearing. And I'm not going to cut any of this video so you can hear exactly how long it takes for it to go away. All right, here we go. Lowering the volume a little bit so it doesn't like blow out anyone's ears. All right, so that was the noise that I run into every time I turn on my Quad Cortex. Very strange. It could be mechanical. I'm wondering if there's some kind of power supply issue going on here. It could be a result of some kind of voltage. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. I'm presuming there's something going on there. On the other hand, it could just be software. Who knows? I'm using the original power supply. So this was what came stock with the Quad Cortex. And this has been a really time-consuming bug. So imagine like you're getting ready for a gig and it's time for you to go and you plug your Quad Cortex in and it's just making that noise. And you're just kind of waiting for the noise to go away. You roll down your volume so no one can hear it, and then you just kind of guess as to about when it's going to be gone. And yeah, that's basically what I'm experiencing with this. I don't know if there's a fix for it, and I don't know if it's my unit. Again, I bought this secondhand, and Neural doesn't accept kind of secondhand warranties. So that's just kind of what I've been working with this thing. The other thing about this bug, though, is that it also tends to get louder with the patches. So like, for example, once it loaded up my preset here with amp and cab, the amp is adding distortion, and actually that signal is getting amplified through the amp as well. So I don't know what's the cause of it. On one hand, it could be mechanical. On the other hand, it could just be a software issue. But regardless of what issue it is, it's been incredibly troublesome for me. All right, so the second bug I'm running into is in relation to the IR loading of the Quad Cortex. Basically what's happening is when I load a new IR onto the Quad Cortex, the amp model's gain and the amp model's bass kind of changes for some reason. And so the way I'm going to demonstrate this is I'm going to take the same IR and upload it twice, and you'll see it before and after to see kind of the differences. And it's not like a drastic difference, but it's enough of a difference to where if you're trying to dial in the amp with the bug happening, you might come back to your patch a day later and your preset will just sound completely off because you were dialing it in with the bug happening. All right, so here's my current patch, which is a JCM 800. You'll see the settings here. Keep note of those. And then this is my IR right now, is a Bogner 412. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what this sounds like. All right, so with that, I'm going to go to my directory now, and I'm going to upload the same IR. It'll have the word copy on it just because they don't let you upload the same IR with the same name. I'm going to go back to the grid, and I'm going to select that IR. And this is what it sounds like now. All right, I'm going to play that back to back so you can hear the difference. And so, yeah, weirdly, it's bassier, and it also kind of takes away a little bit of the gain. And the way to solve this is just basically to reset your patch. So if I save it right now, and I go to another patch, and I go back to the JCM 800 patch. So now it sounds fine again. And I've had this happen a lot where I am trying to dial in an amp, and I feel like there's not enough gain, and then I compensate for it on the gain dial, and I come back to it a day or two later, and suddenly there's too much gain. I thought to myself, maybe my ears are not working, but then I did this test and I confirmed it adds a little bit of bass and takes a little bit of gain away. And so you get this like weird issue with the IR. And I hope they fix this, because I'm not going to be loading all my IRs onto this thing at once. I'm going to be creating a preset and then finding an IR that might work for it. And in this case, I use the same IR so I can show you the difference. But with any IR, I ran into this issue, and I basically always have to make sure I reset my patches before I like make a demo or something. I've also had someone make fun of this bug saying, oh, this is like simulating when tubes are starting to fail. All right, so the last bug I've been running into with this is one that I don't run into all the time. It happens maybe once out of every, I don't know, 50-ish launches. Basically, sometimes when I launch the Quad Cortex, the screen will be completely blank and the volume dial still works. So you'll see the volume still working, but I don't have any way of accessing the like touch screen at all. And it's weird because the screen is still working. Like there's nothing wrong with the connection of the screen, and the volume knob is displaying, and there's no like cuts or anything in the screen in that regard. Usually the pixels are like horizontal, so if you have a crack somewhere or if you have a problem somewhere with like display output, you'd see it on the volume dial, but the volume dial is vertical, so you should be able to tell if there's somewhere on the screen that it's like getting cut. And yeah, again, it's not very common that I run into this. A simple relaunch works. The power button menu still works, so there's that. But since the touchscreen is kind of an integral part of using Quad Cortex, and the workflow that some people have had with the Quad Cortex involves the touchscreen, it's kind of annoying that this bug exists. And with any of these bugs, I feel like a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't run into this problem. It's not an issue that I run into. And for those people, I'm happy for you. Genuinely speaking, I hope you don't run into the same bugs that I'm running into on this unit, because I think this is a great unit. But however, that doesn't excuse the fact that I am actually running into bugs. Really what I'm trying to get at is if you like your Quad Cortex and you like Neural and Neural products, you're in the best position to provide that kind of feedback. So when I'm talking about bugs or any bugs you're running into that I haven't covered here, or the bugs that I'm running into, providing that feedback for them can only make this thing better. That's kind of what we all want from the Quad Cortex, because it launched without a lot of the features, and since then it's gotten a lot better. And so we want it to get even better than that, right? Blind praise for a product won't improve the product in the long term. But yeah, if you're running into any bugs on the Quad Cortex that I didn't cover here, let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!